Thank you.
Thank you so much for that very warm introduction, Alia. Again, guys, my name is Christy Denny. It's always a pleasure to come to First Service Realty and be able to present for you. We're going to be talking about Remine Pro. In this system, they actually requested, your office requested additional information about what we all need, which is farming and prospecting. This is the act of finding additional customers for your business. We're going to get started on miamirealtor.com. We're going to scroll to the middle of the page so that we can access Remine. So I'm going to move through here. I'm going to give the Miami Gateway a click. And once we have, that should give you your prompt for your username and your password. And we're going to go ahead and have access to all of our programs and services. In today's class, we're going to be focusing on Remine. So I'm going to give this a little click and it's going to open up the system for me. Now, in today's class, since we're talking about farming and prospecting, the first few things that I want to talk to you about is going to be a lay of the land. After that, we're going to move into a property card. And then we're going to go ahead and create a landing page that you can share with customers so that they could be introduced to Remine to you as an agent, see if they want to work with you. All right. So to get started, we have a little coffee cup, and Remine thought that this should be what you saw when you first got out of bed. You jumped into Remine and you have an overview of your business. You have some quick actions that you can take, like invite a customer to come and join you and view property on Remine. You can create a saved search, right, of the properties that your customers are interested in seeing, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and Pembroke Pines under 500,000. You can even start a chat. One second. I'm sorry about that. All right, moving on. Then we have your add new card. So an example of the cards that you have in your system are your Twitter card, your listing updates card. And as you move through here, you have your market pulse, you have your property notifications, your engagement cards, and where you can find all of your listings. We go into detail about these cards when we work Remine Pro. This is Remine Farming and Prospecting. So I'm going to focus on 2 of them. I like to teach you to use listing updates with another card. It's called the Market Pulse. Now, depending on what order they're in, our screens might be a little bit different, but they are customizable. You can take the 6 dots, you can click on them, and you can actually move them. You can customize where it is that you'd like one. And you also have the gear on each one of your cards that you can click on, and you can use it to delete a possible card that you are not interested in previewing. Now, I like to have Market Pulse and listing updates together. And what you're looking at is actually the activity that's been happening in the MLS. Think a hot sheet. You're able to see all of the active properties that happened in the last 7 days, properties under contract, canceled, closed, coming soon, etc. It is way too much information to be of any interest to you, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to customize it to our own farming area. How you do that is next to the word all, you have a drop-down arrow. You're going to click on that drop-down arrow and it's going to give you an area to enter your zip code. So I'm going to do 33175. Once I put in the zip code, you touch enter on your keyboard and you give the system a second to update. Now, in the last 7 days, you're able to see the activity that's happening in your market for 33175, for example. Now, when I'm looking at my market activity, I like to change it from 7 days to 30 days, so I have a little bit more information. From here, I'm able to see that there's been 18 new listings that have hit the market with the average price of $890,000. We have 11 properties that are under contract, average price $489,000. 9 that have been canceled, 16 closed, 1 that's coming soon, 1 that expired, 14 pending, 1 withdrawn, 4 on hold, and 75 status updates with an average valuation estimate in the area of 611 with an absorption rate of 34 days. So you're able to get quite a lot of information with a few clicks. And I like to work my market pulse, like I mentioned, with my listing updates. Now, how I work them together is I'm going to make sure that both of them have the same zip code, clicking on the drop-down arrow, entering that zip code 33175, and I'm going to press enter on my keyboard. From here, I'm going to match it to be 7 days if I'm working both of the cards together. Now we're ready to view. So whatever property might call your eye, whether you're interested in the active properties or you may be interested in that expired property, they're all going to be available on your right-hand side. We have access to that coming soon. Now from here, I just want to show you what you get when you look at a property card through Remine. So I'm going to give 5410 Southwest 138th Avenue a click. This is an active property that's hit the market in the last 7 days. And this is what that property card looks like. You have a lot of great information up at the top. You have the address, the days on market. You're looking at one, your MLS number. The listing date was the 15th. It's a townhome with an estimated equity of $75,000. We have an estimated, well, we have an HOA of 153 that's paid every quarter. And it's been owned not very long, not even 2 years, by Lauren, Martin, and Gloria. So we have a lot of great info that agents need right at the top of the screen. We have that price, $435, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We have the square feet in the year built. As we move through here, a lot of what we can do with a property is on the right-hand side. So for example, if I want to share property with a customer, I got a nice big share button that I can click on, and I have 2 ways that I can share it. The first way is via email. So I can type in my customer's email. I can give them a little message. And I can send it. How do you send it? You click on the blue button that says send. But before I do that, I'm going to scroll down just slightly, and you have another method that you can share it. It's a link. So you can share this through WhatsApp. You can share it on social media. You can share it via text. Let me open up that link to show you what your customer gets when you send them a property. So from here, this is the aesthetic of Remine. Your customer is able to search for an address. They're able to search a city, a zip code, a neighborhood, an MLS. That means that you've empowered them. They can create their own searches. And when they do create their own searches, who gets that info? You do, right? So on the right-hand side, your information is going to be prominent, and then it says log in or sign up. So if they're interested in creating an account, they can, and there's quite a few benefits for doing so. As they move through here, they get to see all of the really nice pictures of the property. So if you like this aesthetic, you have this as an option. You have your price point, $435,000. They can favorite it or they can share it. Who else can share it? You can. Facebook, Twitter, you can copy the link. You have the address, the information about the property, the basic details. You also have your info on the right-hand side. So as they research the property, what stays in their view is your information. And these are live links, whether they want to call you or they want to send you an email. They also give them valuations so that they can compare with the price point. They have a valuation and they have an average. As I move through here, the valuations provided in this case is by First American. Scrolling down, you have a map view. They have it available as a map view. They also have a satellite view, and they can zoom in pretty close to that property, so they can have like an idea of that neighborhood around them. They have our little Google guy here. And in some cases, you can drop him right into that neighborhood and they're able to see, all right, what's that looking like around that property? As I continue to move through here, this is one of the options that I really like. This is what you'll pay, and your customers are interested in this information. So for example, they can choose to either finance it, right? And they're going to have their mortgage options, or they can pay in cash. This figure here matches the listing price of the property, but if they wanted to edit it because they either made an offer that's a little lower or making an offer that's a little higher, they can edit this information. Based on this figure, it'll give you monthly expenses if you finance. So they'll have an estimate of $2,238 with a principal and interest. You're looking at 4.125%. This is on the lower end. So you can go ahead and click on this little pencil and update that to match what they qualified for. You also have your property tax, HOA information, and homeowners insurance quotes. All of these are editable to give them the best price point or estimate on that monthly cost. Another option that I really like, we have our cash at closing. They're giving an estimate based on 20%. And they're also going to add in some fees like the lender policy premium, the endorsement fee, the settlement fee, and the recording fee. Again, both of these are estimates, but isn't it great that your customer already knows, look, this is part of the story. Estimates, but they're part of the story. Now, on the other hand, let's say you got a cash buyer. You can move into cash, and it's going to update that information. Since they're paying cash, then you're only going to have the additional fees associated, like the property tax, the HOA fee, and then the cash at closing will be most, with the additional fees that are estimated for you. So this is one of my favorite features when I'm showing it to customers, because they get all of that good info that they want to know. As I move through here, they then have access to see if they want to listing detail, public record, without having to leave Remine. They can click on the drop-down arrow and it's going to be blurred, right? So it's enough to get their attention. Like, I would love to know that info, but they're going to blur it out. Why? They want your customer to make an account. If they make an account, you have more control of the transaction. You can see what it is that they're doing, and you can better assist them.
If they made an account, it won't be blurred.
Exactly. If they make the account, they'll have access to everything. As they move through here, they have property history, they have school information. School information they do get, which are schools in the area, and they get demographics. Okay, so if they want to know what kind of area this is, what kind of neighborhood this is, they have access to the education levels, the children in the area, the average income, average age, and the average household. So this is what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to click out of here.
That's the picture you're going to see on social media. Because I remember the other one, it has just an orange picture like that.
So if I
click to see that.
Yes. So if I were to post this on social media, you'll get a little image. It's not as big as this. You're just going to get an image that says Remine, that they can click and come to this page. So aesthetically, this looks best when they open it up from your account. But can you share it on social media? You can't.
Yeah, but it won't be the pictures.
No, it won't. It won't. Okay, moving back. So we went ahead and we shared with you what it is that your customer sees when they look at properties that you send them. Using the link, the other option is send. And we're good to go. We're able to send properties via email or via link. Other options that you can do, you can save it to a card. This will give you access to send one by one to a customer. You can create a CMA in the area. You can also message a realtor, and you can also print reports. So since this is farming and prospecting, when we click on print, you'll have access to an agent full report. That's for us. But if you click on the drop down, you also have a public record one-page report. What's the benefit? This is a tax roll service. So if you're interested in farming and prospecting properties that are off market, you still get a lot of great info off of them. Now, if you're interested in using it as a CMA or MLS option, you also get a client full view. This is a report for your customer. Now here you can decide what you'd like to incorporate into that report. If, for example, you don't want a valuation, some agents don't, you can uncheck it and it's going to be removed, or you can actually decide, all right, between these estimates or these companies, I don't want this one and I don't want that one. So you can customize however you'd like. I'm going to keep everything. I think it looks good. I'm going to name my file. Right, I'm going to go ahead and see it with Connie, and then I'm going to print it to access that report. And as that loads, we also have a sample that we can see towards the top. Okay. And then here's the report that you've made. It took a few seconds. This is a sample. It has your information towards the bottom, all of the property information where it's available on the map with all of the listing details. A great addition on any tour that you were to go on, or a great addition if you'd like to send additional info and a report form to a customer, right? If you want to extend past additional info on property facts. So for example, you've got the demographics on here and the school info. All right, let's give this a little click. Moving back into the daily. So far, we have discovered 2 of our cards. We also opened up a property card and we learned how to share it and how to pull reports from it. Now, the next step that I want to do is I want to be able to help you guys create a landing page. That's another way that you can have your customers or potential customers join you on a search. And this you can post on social media and it looks quite well. So where you access it, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, is where it says your name. That's going to be under docs. It says alerts, support, and your name with a side arrow. When you click on that side arrow, you should confirm that you have a pro account. And then we're going to move into our settings. I'm going to click settings. And we want to go ahead and optimize this page. So how I do that is I'm going to upload my photo from my computer, step 1. As I move through here, we want to confirm our email address and our phone number. If this email and this phone number is not what you'd like to display on Remine, you have a button where you can update that. But if you are interested in downloading the Remine app, this is the information that it's going to call for. We're going to keep moving. Moody Analytics, this is the only integration that you don't have in your system. This is preferably for customers who are interested in commercial or agents who specialize in commercial. I'm going to show you these, but if you're interested in getting them, you can always manage the account from your settings to move them into your Remine account. Now we're going to edit our display preferences. That's going to build out that social media page. I'm going to click on edit on the top right-hand corner of the page, and we're able to add in the office name will already be put in there for you, but you can add your display license, your display name. So it should be maybe your first name, last name, realtor, realtor associate, broker, broker associate, your email, your phone number, and then any additional information that you'd like to add here, like do you have a special program that you're working on? Do you have a special, a niche that you work on? Do you specialize in XYZ? This is going to appear on the Remine homepage for your customers on the client portal if you send them any properties, and also in any PDF that you generate. So take the time to fill this out. I'm going to click on save. Our social profile. My profile and your profile are going to look a little bit different because where it says custom URL, it's going to be in blank. It's going to give you a space where you're going to be able to edit this information. Think about it a little bit because once you pop in that URL name, you cannot change it. What are you going to do with the URL? This is the ability to share it with your consumers and have them join you on Remine. And when you do, Remine does give that seller or that buyer an additional benefit that we're going to talk about. So pop in there, first name, last name, and then check to see if it lights up in green, and that means it's available, and then you can save it. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to show you what we're creating. So let me open up a new window, and I'm going to show you the landing page that we're making. All right, so this is what we're making. This is the landing page. It says remine.com/RE, and then whatever name you put in. It's going to have a black and white picture in the back. It's always going to be black and white. That's the aesthetic. Your logo is going to populate up at the top, and your customers are able to sign up with you. It says, want to explore listings, sign up with Remine to explore properties and collaborate with me and any co-buyers all in one place. Now, when they sign up with you as a buyer, it does give them an additional benefit. You're able to run the report. So in running their report, they're going to get a full report. It's not going to blemish or impact it because it's a soft pull. It's only by Experian, not all three. And then as they get the full report, you won't, because we don't have access to that information, but you do get something, you get a range. So you're able to know, is it excellent? Is it good? Is it poor? And then based on that credit, you're able to kind of prompt them into the next step to help them from the beginning of the search. It then says, hi, I'm Christy Denny's real estate instructor. Welcome to my page. Please check out my listings and contact me if you have any questions. Towards the bottom, I can show all of my social media posts so they can get to know you a little bit more. And they're able to see, okay, you're licensed, you have your real estate email. I can call you. I have your broker information that's available here. I can also share the profile. So as a customer, you can share it. Who else can share it? You as an agent. You can share it to Facebook, to Twitter, to LinkedIn. You have a link and you can share it via email. You also have the additional info. So whatever you'd like to add here, you can. Okay. Moving through here, you also have ready to find your next home or want to sell. So some of us specialize in working with buyers. Some of us specialize with working with sellers, some of us both. So this program has a benefit for each. It says, start your journey here. When they ask them to start their journey, they're going to populate or they're going to enter the address of their home. This will allow them to claim the house. When they claim the house, the system's going to automatically give them an estimate of value. How is it that they're able to do this? Because it's also a tax roll service. So where does all of this information go when they register to you? You're able to access it through Remine. Okay, so you'll receive an email that you have a lead, and they'll receive additional info about their properties or their credit scores. If your customers, some people have asked, is a seller and they signed up here, it's okay. It's going to prompt them to see if they do have a property that they want to sell either way. Okay, so now that we see what we're making, let's go back and wrap up finishing it. I'm going to move back into Remine. This is where you find the link that you can share. And then now we're ready to kind of customize. Our first step, pop in your logo, your real estate logo. The ideal dimensions are up to the right, 140 pixel by 50. And move through here and select your background image. You have 3. Just select the one that you like. Remember, it's always going to be in black and white. And then you can add in your own if you want to. The ideal dimensions are 1920 by 360. Mine says change photo because I already have one in there, but you can select to upload the photo. Our welcome message. So I read to you the welcome message that they get. It's right here. Very simple. If you wanted to update that information where it says welcome message, you have an edit button. You can put in that title, that message, and customize. Towards the bottom, you have the social media option. So as you can see on mine, I have all of my social media inputted. Well, all of them except for maybe 2 or 3. I don't have WhatsApp on there, Snapchat, or Google Maps, which is a-okay. You input what you have. If you don't have it, the icon won't populate. I have a tip for you so that you can find all of your social media quickly. I'm going to open up a new window. You're also doing a social media audit, which is also a benefit, but you're going to move into google.com. You're going to look yourself up, first name, last name. You have a common name, I would add in realtor or real estate. And then you'll have access to all of the different pages that you're in. So here's my LinkedIn profile, my Twitter profile, my Instagram profile is here. So all I'd have to do is click, pick up this link from Google, and inside of Remine, clicking on edit, I would input that address. You do need the full address for it to populate, not just the handle, okay? So that's my tip to you. Input what you have, work on what you don't, and then we're making some decisions. Do you want your active listings and your recently sold listings on this page? If you do, leave these toggled on. If you don't, toggle these off by simply giving it a click. I would leave these on. All right. Moving through here, we have get me an offer, allow clients to request an offer on their home. I leave this off. I think any of those type of conversations should be between agent and their customer. And then we have notifications. Would you like to receive an email on any chats from any agents that you get through Remine? Most agents communicate via text or via email, very seldomly through here. So I leave this off, but you are, of course, welcome to turn it on. And then email cart notifications. Any of the properties that you're going to be farming or prospecting, do you want to receive an email if the status has changed? For example, I'm prospecting in a neighborhood and one of the houses is now active. If you'd like to receive that notification by email, select how frequently. Daily, weekly, monthly, never. I think monthly is okay. All right. We're confirming that we have a pro account. If you're interested in using the mobile, you can click on text me the mobile app login link here, and then you can pop in your phone number. And you can have access to the mobile. Clicking on send and it'll send it to you. All right, so far we went ahead and we created a landing page that we can now share with our potential customers to attract additional clientele. Our meat and potatoes of the system is inside of the search. So underneath daily, there's a search bar. We're going to give that a click. So within Remine, once I click on search, it's going to allow me to search by address, city, zip code, neighborhood, or a school. And we have two tabs. We have listing and we have properties. As long as you're on the side of properties, then you're on the side that's perfect for prospecting. If you're on the side of listings, this is the area where you can find properties that's already on the MLS. We're working properties outside of the MLS, so we're going to click on properties. Now we're going to add an additional filter. You have a number of filters to the right, and you also have layers to your left. So where you see that X, this is a bunch of layers that you can click and you have a menu. I'm going to introduce you to these layers and then we're going to do some exercises. So for example, my first step is I'm going to click on filter and I'm going to look for off market. Any of the filters that you work with frequently, you can actually pin to the top bar. Clicking on the small pin will do just that. Off market is now available to the top. I can click on off market and I want to work on off market properties. Okay, so that's two steps to make sure that we're prospecting to listings that are not in the MLS. My next step is going to be to search. Now you have a few ways to search. When I click on my search bar, you can search places, people, APN or PIN, also referred to as property identification numbers. Sometimes they call them a folio. You have your MLS number. You can search for agents and offices. Up at the top, you can type in what you're looking for. And then towards the bottom, you have any recent searches that you've been working on. So I was in Broward, as you can see. So from here, I'm going to add in, for example, an area of interest. Let's do Hialeah. So I can input this in the city of Hialeah, but I then have to choose Hialeah, Florida, Hialeah Gardens. I can move through here. We have different schools in Hialeah that you can look around. And then as I continue to move through here, you also have different neighborhoods that you can choose. We have West, and then we have addresses, okay? So that's one of the ways that you can search. If I were to search Hialeah, Florida, I can map it. It's going to take me right into my map, and it's going to give me the boundaries of all of the properties in Hialeah. From here, I'm then able to sort this information so I can find customers that would like to work with me based on my marketing message. So what am I going to do from here? I'm going to get a little closer. So I'm going to move into this section around Hialeah Gardens. I'm going to click on it. I have 4,000 properties here, 2,000 properties, 4,000 properties. I want to get a little closer. So I'm going to move my map slightly, and I'm going to get a little closer now, but I'm going to use the plus sign. Perfect. I'm going to get a little closer. I'm going to use the plus sign. A little closer. What we're looking for are parcels. What are parcels? They're all of these little blue dots. These are all of the properties that are located in this area that are available for me to start farming and prospecting. At this time, what I'm looking at is 965 results, right? So this is one of the options you can do, and you can start using your layers to see how they work. So I'm going to click on layers, and the first one is cart. Cart is really just an area where you can see what properties you've saved for another customer. But the next one is a great one. It's called property value. Property value. And as I checked off on property value, you can see that the different parcels are changing colors. We can see that we have valued property from 0 to 250 all the way to over $1 million. So if you're interested in prospecting to properties with a value of more than $1 million, this is a really good filter for you. The other option, we have home equity under property value. This one is one of my favorites options, home equity. You're able to see properties that are equity rich, and they say 1 out of 3 properties is a equity rich property. That means that they have additional income additional money that they can use for either 2 things. They're either taking that equity and they're putting it back into the home, probably fixing it up for the next 10, 15 years that they want to live there, probably use it as a multi-generational home, or they're taking that money and they're going to invest it in another property. They can either have that be their down payment and then they can rent it. And I know we do have Loan Depot here that can talk to you a little bit more about the steps about home equity. So this is a really, really good one. And you can choose, all right, give me the homes with home equity over $1 million, right? Or between 750 to $1 million. So over $1 million, I can apply that filter and it's going to pinpoint whatever I have in the area. Now I was looking at a very tight area and I have 6. So do I have to contact 900 and some people to find the people who would actually fit with what I'm trying to do? No. So that means I can cover more area and I can do a campaign. How do I cover more area? I click on the minus. That's going to bring me out and it's going to show me a little bit more of Hialeah. I'm up to 11. I get a bigger area here. I'm up to 16. Huge area. I'm up to 71. I'm looking at almost all of Hialeah, and that's 152. So if you want to do a very specific campaign, let's do all of Hialeah, 155. With equity over $1 million. That's a very specific marketing idea. And I think it's a very good one too. So if you're interested in this, we can select all of these. And this will be one of the first programs that we do. We're going to cart them. Think of it as a folder. And then we're going to give it a name. So we're going to call it high equity. Hialeah. Million plus. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a click. And then I'm going to add the 155 properties to that card. And I know, okay, that's one of the ideas of how I can prospect for new customers. Now, my next step is I'm going to go back and just show you the rest of them. There's a lot of good ones. This can be found under cards, and we'll work this in a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take my high equity and I'm going to click on the X, and that's going to remove that filter. I'm now back to all of the property in the area. So let's go ahead and get a little closer so that we see those parcels and continue to explore all of the different ways that you can prospect. All right, we're nice and close. We've got our parcels here. Underneath high equity, you have ownership time. So ownership time is basically how long has that customer owned that property? And they say more or less, when do they want to sell a car? I think they say every 3 years. So then property, I understood the estimate to be at least any time between 7 plus 10 plus years, they're interested in making a change. Why? Most of the time it's because of life events that have happened. So you're able to target those people either 10 to 15 years, 15 to 20 years, you can do even 20 years. How long have they lived in that area? Another good one is the sell score. The sell score. So I'm going to give that a click and I'm going to apply. Now the sell score works by telling you what is the estimate or the potential for a property to be listed this year. Is it a high potential, a medium potential, or a low potential? As I'm looking through these properties, so far these look like they have a low potential. If I'm interested in looking for high, I can give the high section a little click and I can apply. From here, I can move on back. I have 44. Okay, and in this area of Hialeah, they have found 134 properties that are most likely to list this year. Now, how is it that they come across, or how is it that they create this number? This is an algorithm based on life events, spending, or how they're tracking the spending of the individuals. And they're able to let you know, okay, if you're going to target anyone and you're interested in listings, I would use the sell score, or I would combine it with other filters. Oh, you guys are hearing me on the phone. Hi, welcome. Hi, Nereida. All right, so this is the sell score, a very, very good one that you have access to. Let's go ahead and uncheck sell score. And let's keep going. There's so much you could do. Scrolling down, another good one. You have the absentee. The absentee is excellent if you're interested in maybe the campaign of moving the renter to a buyer, right? Because you can find absentees in state. What does that mean? That means that you're looking for owners who don't live in the house, but they do live in the state. So you can still have a specific conversation with them. And if they're not living in the house, they're probably renting it. So you can actually use the same list 2 different ways. So I'm going to do absentee in state, and looking at almost 3,000 results, I'm going to apply. And from there, there's 474. This is still quite a large area, but you're able to target based on a specific marketing message. The more specific you can get on your marketing message, the more likely you are to receive a call back, for somebody to give you a response, because you're targeting people who are interested in your message. All right, let's open up. Let's say you want to work with people who don't live in the state. You have absentee out of state. You can apply. Again, they don't live in the property. They also don't live in the state. That's also very niche. You have 52. in this area. 52 is kind of small, so we are gonna move out. Click on the minus sign. We're still up to 96, but it's a quite large area of Hialeah. And how far do you want to move out when you are creating these campaigns? What's that secret number? I would line that up with your budget. I would line that up with your budget and how many people you'd like to interact with. Now, budget is important. Why? You need to contact them more than once, right? Let's move out. Let's do all of Hialeah. 377. We have 377 owners who do not live in their home, who do not live in the state of Florida. Okay, so I'm able to select these. And this would also be another great card. And I can do out of state, Hialeah. Clicking on that, adding my 377 properties. It's a good prospecting list. Now, you also, they're not living in the state, so they're renting. You can use the list for two things. You can also use it for targeting the renter, right? So you can also card it for that, but we have it already available in our carts. Let's keep going. I'm gonna click on absentee. Yes, ma'am.
We have a question from Vivian. She says that the section on the right next to the map shows blurry, that she can't see the homes that are listed. Why is that?
I'm not sure. On our end, we see it clear.
Okay.
So I don't know if it could be a Wi-Fi connection. How do you see it on your end? Do you also see them blurry?
No, I see them fine.
Yeah, it could be a Wi-Fi connection. It is a lot of data that we're working with. So it might show a little blurry. Sorry, Vivian. Okay, let's go into our next option, which is our flood zone flood zone risk. So I'm going to uncheck the absentee. I'm going to apply. And now here we have the flood zone, right? So it's going to show you if the area is or is not in a flood zone. You can get a little closer so that we can see our parcels. Let's go ahead and get a little closer so we see our little dots. So you get the visual. All right, and here's our flood zone. So do we work for, are we flood insurance agents? No, but if you wanted to send out a message about that, or maybe hurricane preparedness, or maybe they're not interested in living in a flood zone anymore, right? It's pretty tough to get to be in that area, and rain has been crazy. We saw what happened just a few weeks ago. So here you can review that information using Remine. You also have building type. Building type you can combine with other filters. So let's say you're only interested in prospecting to single family or condos or townhomes, multifamily, depending on what you specialize in, okay? Land use. They're saying that some properties, the land's value is greater than the property on the land, right? That's happening. So it's a great idea to figure out how can that land be used in addition to residential. Some of them are marked for more than one thing. So you're able to review the land use of an area. You have mortgage rates, right? So you have everywhere from 0 to more than 6%. You have mortgage age. How long has they had that mortgage? You can actually find people who don't have a mortgage at all. And that's another great way for that you can find maybe a potential seller. They are looking to make full profit now. So you can find those individuals. I would tie in mortgage age with ownership time, because if they refinance, that kind of changes your picture already. So you can tie them in together. Now you also have your last sales price. That's a really good one too. So if they sold that property under 250,000 compared to how properties are priced now, they're looking to make a good return on their investment. So this is a great feature that you can use when filtering out info. You have the distressed deals. If you want to find properties where they've either received a list pendants notification, which is one of the first letters that they get that their home is in distress, notice of default, notice of foreclosure, notice of trustee sale, you can check these off and see what you have available. So I'm going to check off list pendants.
I have a question regarding to that.
Yeah.
How accurate can it be when we search for those type of, service spending for social and things of that nature? That's how much of a range do we have to work with? Because I try to reach those
Mhm.
and they're already no longer like in that particular.
They've resolved their issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long does it take for?
So that's a good question. Somebody has a question of how accurate is it and what is the range of time that
you have to
it's
work?
populating or that that you have to work with them. So I think that that's depending case by case basis, whether they can resolve their financial issues or not. That's going to be on case by case basis. The information is pulled from the tax roll. So whatever is on miami-dade.gov is going to be reflective on programs like IMAP, programs like Remine.
They're not even accurate though.
Right. So I guess you want to take it with a grain of salt. For me, how you can confirm the information thus far as we can go is the website, I would say IMAP gives you some good info because you can link directly to the the state county's website, and you can check off to see if it closed or if it didn't within the docs. So for this, I like IMAP better, but you have them available here. And if you were to open one, it'll give you the status, it'll tell you list pendants, and it'll give you the recording date with the case number and the information that you can go back on and research.
She can go back the docket of the court
Yes,
and look what happened in the case,
yes.
because I was with them.
So that's the best way to find out, to look at the dockets in the case. All right.
What is the last court order?
Nereida's one of the agents who's worked with foreclosures in the past, short sales. She says to look at the docket and to see when's the last court order.
Yes.
Thank you, Nereida, for that insight. All right, so here I would say this is the beginning steps of your research. All right, I'm going to check off list pendants. I'm going to click on apply. And now we're going to move into cash buyer. So in this case, we can get close to our parcels, and basically it's going to show you if there has been any customer or how the customer purchased their home. In this case, all of these little dollar bills or money signs are people who have purchased their home cash. Maybe they have more cash. So here you can access them. Moving through here, these are the only two that you may not have or that you do not have if you don't have the upgrade with Moody. These are your commercial filters. The first one is commercial location score. And the second one is called your rental prediction model. So these are all of the different layers that you have and all of the different filters that you have that you can combine however you'd like to create lists. So in today's class, we did a combination of, let me move into my cards. We saved 2 of them. We did a combination of filters. One is the out of state. In Hialeah, this is to target all customers who are out of state or the owner is out of state. And then we did a high equity option where we can contact these customers. From here, I'm going to start with the high equity. In Hialeah, these customers have more than $1 million in equity, and I can access their info. The first way that you can is using the more button. It has 3 little dots. It says more. We're going to select all of the 155 properties. We're going to give more a little click. And then it says print mailing labels. Here, you can choose whether you want to target the property owner who lives out of state, or if you want to target the current resident, which is going to be the renter. We're going to start with the property owner. And we would like not the property address, but the mailing address. That's where the customer lives. And the label that we'd like to select is what you purchased at the store. So we have 3 Avery type labels. I'm going to choose Avery 5160, and then I'm going to print that label. It's going to download to the bottom of my page. Let me just make sure that we are sharing that screen. And then you have all of the different addresses that are available for those customers. Okay. Your other option is going to be the current resident at the property address, clicking print mailing labels. Now, in this case, just with a few clicks, you're able to either contact the owner or you can contact the renter, and you created that from the same list. All right, that's if you have all of your stuff ready. That's if you have your letter or your card or your postcard that's ready to send out and you just need to mail it out and send. If you don't have that all put together, you have the option to send a mailer. So if I click on send mailer, I'm able to create a campaign, a print campaign. So I'm going to give it a name. And then I'm going to click on build mailing campaign. From here, Remine shakes hands with another company. It's called PCM Digital, and you're able to have a quote on how much each piece is going to be. So for example, if I wanted to do a postcard, it is 4 by 25 by 6, which is on the smaller end. I did a quality count of 155, so 155 pieces. It's $124. And I'm able to cover Hialeah because I'm very specific in the messaging. Now I can click on the drop down. You can do maybe a medium postcard, a little bit bigger to 130. You could do a big postcard at 150. You can create some variety by introducing yourself also with a letter for 148, a yellow letter, and then you have that snap apart. Okay, and it gives you that price point for each. Let's say I wanted to focus on a postcard, and I'm going to choose the design. So you do have multiple. You have a few that are specifically created for the absentee owner, which we did create a list for that. You have some that are with the co-branded to include your brokerage. You have some for commercial property. This for full equity or for that equity postcard could probably be the best bet because it's fully editable. You probably have a very specific message on how you can help those people. You have general farming, holiday greetings, just listed, just sold. This one's one of my favorite for a new agent. So people know who you are, people in your neighborhood, people that you are farming, that you are in the area. Open houses, property management, targeting renters. You've got spring and you have upload your own artwork. So let's say we were going to select one of these, like the realtor announcement. You have here looking for your real estate professional you can trust. You add in your photo, you add in your logo, your contact details, and it is ready to go for you. You can click on personalize now. Before I do, if I wanted to update the size of the postcard, I can. Okay, and from here you can choose who would you like this postcard to go out to, the owner or the property address. I wanted to go to the owner. Whom would you like this piece to go to? You can choose homeowner or current resident. I'm going to do homeowner. What colors are your real estate companies. So I can move through here. We've got gray and red. Oh, black and red. Or red and black. So I'm going to select it, refresh and preview. Okay, and it looks good. It matches my brands. And then I'm going to click on next. From here, I can choose my image. I can choose my logo. I can enter my name, my real estate company, my title, and my license number. My phone number. My office number. My email, my website. And I can preview. Okay, so in just a few steps, we got a nice branded postcard. I'm clicking on next. And now we're going to work on the back. Enter your street address here. This is your real estate company's address. So let's go ahead and pop that in. Enter a customer testimonial. So if you've worked with a customer in the past who is okay with you adding it in, I would. We have a disclaimer and we also have the information that we've listed here. Trust someone who knows today's market to guide you on your journey to a new home. Call me to get the best deal or a commission rebate. You can, of course, always talk to a manager or somebody who can assist you with coming up with a great slogan for you. And then you can move through here. And here we have 3 benefits of working with you. So we are expert negotiators. Maybe we are real estate advisors. And maybe we are also marketing specialists. All right, so we are advisors, we are negotiators, and we can market that property. So we're going to refresh that preview. Our information is going to be updated, right? I think it looks good, and I'm going to click on next. Now, where's my list? My list is right here. The high equity and Hialeah, it's here already. So I can click on next. And now this is one of the pieces that I really like. We have 155 cards that are going to go out, and it says add a new address. This is perfect because I can add my address in here. Why would I want to do that? I would want to do that because now the moment that my card comes out, I know that it's out. And now I'm able to be on alert, making sure that I'm going to be available to answer my phone. I also can verify the quality. And let's say I was going to be doing a mailer for a just sold. In addition to myself, I would probably also want it to go to my seller so that they know, hey, Mr. Seller, look at the advertising that we're doing for you on your property. All right, save and add more if you want to add more than one person, or save. Okay, so now I'm up to 156. I'm gonna click on next now that my property address is in there. And now we have another benefit. So the system's gonna go through all of the labels, and if there's any that are incomplete or any that have errors, it's going to remove it from your mailer. So then in that case, you're able to, I thought I got a water. You're able to save some money. Okay, not have a whole bunch of envelopes sent back your way as undeliverable.
Y ellos lo envían todo.
Yes, they send out everything. Basically, I can pay and I would be done with my campaign here, and I did it in class with you guys. And there's new agents or agents that just started and they look at the program and they're like, oh, that's cool. But there's agents who've been in the business for a long time and they look at it like, wow, we didn't have it like that. You would, they did not. So this really helps you in saving time. So the next few steps that we're gonna do is we're going to approve the proof. So we're gonna approve if we like the design in the front and the back. Then we're going to decide how frequently we're gonna send out that mailer. And then we're gonna pay. Well, not pay, but I'm gonna click on proof. This is the front. I think it looks good. Red and black are such like pretty colors. They always look very professional. And then here's the back. I feel good with it. So I'm gonna check off that I'm okay with the proof. Now, my other option is I can send it once. If I send it once, it'll be $114 for 143 out of the 156. So here it'll tell me that there's 4 where the property is completely vacant. There's 9 that failed, so that they're inaccurate, and then the rest of them are good to go. Now here I can choose if I want to send it more than once. So I can click on schedule multiple mailings. All right, so if I wanted to do it multiple times, so we're doing it twice, 1 additional mailing, and you can decide how frequently. So let's say I wanted to do it every 6 weeks. And maybe you wanted to do a total of 3 times, and that'll take care of you for quite a while in the year. And you know that you're doing something for yourself and your business. And if this pans out into one deal, you've made your money over and over and over again.
Christy, Viviana's asking if do we have access to this marketing category? So does everybody that have Pro have access to this? Because she says that it doesn't show any of the features you are showing on her end.
Yes, we all have the same features.
Okay. All right, maybe Viviana, you can review the recording after. And maybe there was some step or something that we missed.
Okay, I think so, yeah, because we all have it. She can verify if she doesn't have the Pro account where your name is. If you click on it on the side arrow, it says Pro. If it does not say Pro, then that means you may not have it. But I haven't seen that happen in quite some time, but you can check there. All right, so we decided that we're gonna send this out twice, once every 6 weeks for a total of $228. I can add to my cart and I'm done, guys. I did a mailer. I felt good. I can call my office and say, hey, I'm marketing. I'm doing my stuff. I'm doing something, you know, and they'll be like very proud of you. I'm sure they'll be very, very proud. I'll be proud of you. So I would do it. You can mess around with the filters however you'd like, but then I also want to show you that there's other ways you can also contact them. So I'm going to uncheck this. And the last part is checkout. Checkout. Okay. And what is this? Like maybe a week and a half of groceries? Groceries is crazy. So put it in perspective. I'm gonna click on the X and we're gonna talk about another way that you can access your customers. Okay. For Viviana, where you can find all of the features with the mailer, it's here under Sun Mailers, once you get into your cart. All right. So the next one we have is called Export. Export. Now I have 155, and for the most part, when it comes to contact information, I would say 30 to 40% of contact information is not available. Why? Gone is the landline, right? And aside from that, we do switch off those cell phone numbers quite frequently. I guess the average person does. Realtors, we hope to never switch our phone number. But let me show you how to access that information. A combination of emails and phone numbers. You can find that info under Export. Export. So you can give that a click. You're going to name your export. So these are my high equity. I guess there would be our future buyers. And then from here, the system wants to show you everything. So you'll see it like this the first time. And it says select information to include. It wants to give you all columns. For me, I would untoggle this. And I would simply select property, address information, and owner information. To find these, you click on the drop-down arrow, and you have a list of everything that you can include. Okay, I think property address info, owner info is sufficient for us to get those emails, and there's phone numbers if they have them. Then I'm going to click on make these my default export settings. So next time you come over here, you don't have to worry about fishing these out. They're already going to be here. And then all I need to do is click on export. All right, it says successful. It's going to export my info. That is going to give me a banner that's going to come across the top of my screen when my download is ready. And then I can also find my downloads where it says alerts and the little bell. You can click on that and you'll have your previous downloads. Okay, so it has saved my stuff 3 years back. I just wanted to check. It keeps your stuff here for a while. When you are doing your list, I do have a tip for you. You have an all cart section. So the system can hold a max of 5,000 addresses. So once you've gone over that amount, you want to come back in and maybe delete some of the carts so that you're under 5,000.
You see, what some of the people that is out of the US in the previous section.
Where to find it?
Mhm.
Where to find the filter?
No, excuse me. The people that is living out of the United States. What's about the previous mailing card?
So in these filters for Remine, I don't have individuals living outside of the US. I have individuals living out of the state of Florida. To find individuals living outside of the US, my recommendation is IMAP.
Okay.
Yeah, IMAP can give it to you.
Okay.
So up at the top, I have high equity buyers. It is ready. I also have my number 1 on the left under alerts. You can click whichever one you like. And I can download and see what you get. So it's going to download to a CSV. I'm going to open this up and see what I have available. Okay. So I have my address here. And then on the right, I have my owners. Let me open this up. These are some of my phone numbers. I have very little on this list, but it's a small batch. So these are some of the phone numbers that we have for owner 1 and for owner 2. No, we don't have a lot of info in this batch, but this is where they would be. They do run them across the DNC or the do not call list. So if it does have the DNC, then we cannot contact these individuals. Now, when creating a batch to contact them, let me click on don't save. When creating a batch for mailers, I go small, 155. Out of state, I have 377. This one's bigger. The bigger the list, the more likely you are to access that info. So this is 377. Let's try with these individuals as well to see if we have a better result. Export. Name my list. Out of state, and then make this my default and export. As that loads, we have covered more. This is where you can find your labels, send mailers. This is where you can do your postcards and your letters. Export, this is where you can export any inputs from the system. Each one of these has a plus sign. This is where you're able to add in your own note. So for example, send a mailer. We sent it the 20th. Whatever you'd like, right? And then you can add these as either shared or private notes for yourself as you work that property. And as you do receive information or you want to follow up with one of the properties that you are working on, you can always click on the address and it's going to open up for you a property card, whether it is on the MLS or not. It's going to tell you where you're saving it. Right? It's going to give you the information about the property. Up at the top, before I speak to the owner, I have an estimate of equity. I have the owner's info. Let me click on the X. We have a value of the property, the number of bedrooms, when it was built. Before I speak to her, if I wanted to create a CMA, I can do it from right here inside of Remine. And under prints, we have access to that one-page public record that I can print. And this is that information regarding the off-market property, right? Our tax details. Let's move back in and see if we got a better result.
Can you do the campaign by email as well?
Yes, so you'll have a campaign if you have sufficient email addresses listed to the property. You could do an email campaign. We just have to see what we have available. The first batch, we didn't have too many. What do you do if the batch that you opened up did not give you sufficient information? What should you do? My recommendation is search a different area. Okay, so here we have some email addresses that we can contact our customers, both owners A and owners B. And you also have additional email addresses. So emails you have to pay for? No. You already have the emails there. You don't have to pay to email someone. You don't have all of the emails. So what does that mean? If I wanted to do this campaign, could I not be very specific? I could, because I'm not working the full list. I'm working who I have contact information for. And if I wanted to contact them, it's already placed against the DNC. Okay, so this is how you access their information, their property information. I do have another recommendation for you. When searching, you can start smaller. We started in a city. I'm going to clear my results. We started in a city. If you want to start smaller, which is a good option, you can do maybe like a community, like a, What's a community that's kind of big, maybe, oh, I was thinking Lakes of the Meadow. Lakes of the Meadow is pretty big. So you can go into Lakes of the Meadow. And you have here 2,363 results. That's enough results in a particular neighborhood that you can make multiple lists or campaigns and then stay close to an area where you live. You don't have to get as big. Why do I recommend this? If I live in Lakes of the Meadow and I find, for example, in all of the Lakes of the Meadow, I'm interested in in my cell score, and I'm gonna look for high, and my budget is limited. All right, so in all Lakes of the Meadow, that's my neighborhood, there's 37 properties. Let me make sure that they're off market. There's 37 properties that are off market ranked as most likely to list this year. If I was gonna do anything, maybe it would be to go buy these properties, a door hanger or a specific letter or a card, because there's only 37. And I can say, hey, I live here with you too, right? And that's a whole other conversation because you're a neighbor. And if anyone should know you, it's probably the neighbors. Another option that you have, let's say you have properties that you have on the market. You're already listing a property. Leverage that. All you would need to do is put in the property address. So, I don't know. Any property address you pop in is going to populate for you. And then you click on the map option. If you click on the little house, it's going to give you the detail of that unit. If you click on the little map, it's going to give you access to the surrounding properties in the area. This happens to be a building. So I wanted to teach you that if you're interested in a building, then you would go to the building of interest. It's going to highlight it here. And you would say, not building details, but you would say view all units. And now you're able to see all of the units within a building, and you can export them and work them in the same way that you would search a single family home. So that's another way that you could do a little prospecting and farming using Remine. Now, these are tried and true. These are emails, these are phone numbers, these are mailers. Remine also has a digital mailer that you can use as well. So if you're interested in doing a post or a boost or a digital ad, you have access to a section called marketing. And it's right underneath contacts. It says marketing. I'm going to give that a click. And here you can choose, do you want a listing lead, a buying lead, or a buying and selling lead? And if you're not sure, what kind of marketing would you like to do? Digital or mail marketing? We've talked about mail marketing so far. So you have digital marketing as well. So I'm going to give this a click. All right. I'm going to click on dashboard. From dashboard, you can pick what kind of ad you'd like to do. Do you want to do a Facebook listing ad to get buyer leads? Do you want to get a Facebook listing ad for seller leads? Do you want to do a Facebook listing ad for buyer traffic? Do you want to do a Google listing ad for buyer traffic? Or do you want to do a Facebook agent promotion ad for both buyers and sellers? Your next step is you want to make sure that you click on Facebook pages. When you click on Facebook pages, you'll have the ability to add in your profile. So mine is already set, it's linked, but it's going to give you the option to add in Facebook. Why would you want to do that? Because it's going to be pushed through the Facebook digital account. You also have Media Library. Media Library is available for you to add new media. So you would use these pictures so that you can create your ads. You can either add your headshot, or you can create a photo collage from Agent 3000. You can create something on Canva, are some of the examples that I have here. Once you've picked your program, so I'm going to click back onto dashboard, you choose what you'd like. I'm going to do, I guess, the Facebook agent promotion ad. Buyers are fine, sellers are fine. I'm going to get started. All right, so from here, I have access to what my preview looks like. On the right-hand side, I'm going to give this a little X just so I can see all of the info. It's a little easier for me to work it. You have your Facebook that's already linked in. If you have not, you can also do it from here. And you can choose your geo-targeting. What does that mean? That means you're going to select a specific area to show your ad. So if I was working the zip code of 33175, and I was also doing the mail marketing for 33175, wouldn't it be cool if they're able to see me in their email, in their mailbox, and on their computers? Yeah, they're able to see that you are an agent that's working that area, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add in a zip code or a city. I'm going to select, and then I have a minimum of 15 miles that I can come out, or all the way into 50. 50 is a lot. I think the minimum is okay, 15 miles. And then here's your creative. That means that they've already inputted the information. It says you're a real estate expert. You can change this, of course. And then the body's going to say looking to buy or sell, contact, and it's going to have your name. Now towards the bottom, you can add in your images. So I can click, and maybe I want to add in this one. And I've added in an image. Yeah, that's fine. Confirm and close. Scrolling down, and I have an area that I can put in my landing page. So if you have a specific website that you want to use where everyone is going to go to, you can add in your landing page here. For example, your personal web page would be a good option. In the meantime, I'm just going to add in a website, and I'm going to click on next. What would you prefer? A one-time payment, a recurring subscription? When would you like to start? When would you like to finish? So here it says from the 16th to the 30th. You can click on the little calendar, and you can extend that time or minimize that time however you'd like. And it gives you a budget here. So it says if you input $99, it's going to spend $6.60 for the total of the time above. Now, if I've never run an ad before, I would go maybe with the minimum and see how it goes the first time. I'm still going to be spending about half, $3.27. I put in my payments and I click on next. That's sufficient to start my ad. Now, let me take a look at what it looks like. I'm going to click on the little face here. And this is what I've made. This is my ad. This is my preview, how it's going to look on Facebook. And they're able to learn more, which is going to lead them to my landing page. Like it, comment it, share on it, and then people can see it. This is perfect for an agent who maybe doesn't want to go directly through Facebook. See, these ads have already been created for you based on your real estate needs. And you know that they're going to be approved because they went through Remine. So they've already vetted it so that you can have them approved. And you can do a combination of all three marketing, I guess, ideas: mail, email, and digital with Remine. But with that, guys, that is your Remine farming and prospecting class. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave my info in the chat. So if you have any questions for me, how does it go to your landing page? So Edgar, when we created the ad, we had a section there that says landing page towards the bottom, and you pop in that link and it'll go through the landing page. Hi, Edgar. Nice to see you on Zoom. I'm going to put in my email if you have any questions about Remine and you need additional assistance. I am happy to help. Consider me a resource. I believe they do have the recording here for us. And if you have any other questions, I'll be here for a few minutes for the people in person.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Great presentation. The last one was amazing.
Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Excellent. The landing pages and